Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another rewatch. Today we're going to be revisiting Spider-Man 3. It's been a while.
Yes,
It's been a
it's been
while
a
since we
while. It's
recorded an
been a
episode.
few weeks. I mean,
It's been a
I
month,
mean,
right? Has it
give
been a
or
month?
take. Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a bit. But Matt, what do you think of Spider-Man 3? Before we go into this, what you've remembered.
I don't remember much because I've only seen this movie twice, I believe.
Really?
So, I don't know. For some reason, this is the one I haven't watched much of.
Mhm.
I don't know the reasoning behind that, but I do know there's a lot of problems with this movie. We've talked about it in the other rewatches, how there's just a lot of behind the scenes problems.
Yeah. So,
What?
no, I was pointing. They can go click and watch the old ones if they haven't already.
I was so confused. I was like, "Wait, what am I
You're
looking at?"
like, what's going on in the corner? You should go click it.
Go watch, go watch. Um, but like I was saying, Sony took control of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of put their own take on it. Raimi really didn't have a say in some of the things going on, so I think that hurt the film from what I remember. But it's been maybe 7 years, 8 years since I've seen it.
Yeah, so it's been a bit.
It's been a while, so I'm really excited just because if you haven't seen the old rewatch, the one of Spider-Man 2, go watch it because I love that movie. You
So
liked it
good.
as well.
It was so good.
So we have high hopes going into this, but then at the same time, knowing what happened, it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out.
From what I remember, I enjoyed it. It's obviously not the best of the bunch, but I think there are some elements I remember liking, like Harry and Peter's relationship. Kind of getting more into the MJ Peter relationship. I'd say the relationships take a huge step up in this movie, but throwing Venom in there and then the new Goblin, I think that just muddies the film a bit. And there's Sandman. I forgot about Sandman.
Yeah, yeah, he's a big factor in it too. I mean, there's three overall villains. I mean, I guess Green Goblin changes throughout the
Mm-hmm.
film, but it's like there are three different components that Spider-Man has to deal with, and I think there's something that goes on with him, like internally,
Yeah.
and I don't know. A lot happens, but there's only one way to find out.
And we just gotta watch it. So we're gonna go watch it and we'll be right back. Also, just a heads up, I think Venom was the thing they threw into this film just to,
Mhm.
like, people love Venom. Get him in here.
No, yeah, that was. It was because Raimi said, "I don't understand the character yet." Sony told him, "Put Venom in."
There we go. My theory has been answered. So let's go watch this and we'll be right back with our afterthoughts. See you in a minute.
I'm gonna ask MJ to marry me.
A man has to put his wife before himself. Can you do that, Peter?
Yeah, I think I can.
We have some new information. This is your uncle's actual killer. We lost his trail 2 days ago.
Revenge is like a poison that can take us over. And before you know it, can turn you into something ugly.
The suit. Where'd this come from? The power. Feels good. You lose yourself to it.
What's happening here?
I need your help. I have to stop it.
This could be the end of Spider-Man.
We just finished watching Spider-Man 3, the editor's cut. So we watched the editor's cut of Spider-Man 3. Just wanted to put that out there. It's a minute shorter than the normal one, so I don't know what was cut out. But Matt, what did you think about it?
I enjoyed it, but I think it was the weakest of the three.
Agree. Definitely agree with that. Now, we're going to do something different this time. We're going to talk about our what we think was good. We're gonna talk about what was bad, and then we're gonna give our overall thoughts at the end. So I enjoyed, I'd say, a good portion of this film. Even though it's a weaker Spider-Man 3 and everyone shits on it, I think it has some really good things to it. Well, there is a lot of weaknesses. I like the whole emo Peter stuff. I thought that was great. His relationship with MJ and kind of MJ becoming her own character in this one, and kind of not just being the girlfriend in distress. Harry and like losing his memory, so it kind of resets him back to Spider-Man 1 Harry was cool, just to see him for a bit. Also how insane he gets when he snaps back. That was a little weird. Peter was a prick. Can we say that? Not the best dude in the film.
Yeah, for sure.
A little bit egotist. Yeah, I'd say those are some things that like stick out to me. Also, how it like wraps up the trilogy. It brings it all back to Uncle Ben, and it references Green Goblin, brings back Willem Dafoe. I think that's all cool. But what'd you enjoy about this?
I enjoyed the Harry moments. I think that was one of the highlights of the film. Sandman was all right. I didn't hate him, didn't love him. I do like emo Peter. It's weird. It's a different take on Peter Parker, but it made sense in context of the story. I guess, yeah, my biggest highlight is probably Harry. I think Harry was a standout for me, just because I liked his character development and kind of what he went through in this movie, how he changed towards the end. I think that was something that was great for the trilogy as a whole, for his character as a whole. So I think that's my highlights. There's not as many as the other two movies, just because I feel like I said, this is the weaker of the three, and I just feel like it was all right at the end of the day.
Yeah, there's nothing too great about it. Like, there's a lot of good things, but nothing that's great. Like, I think one thing that's cool that they kind of tackle in this film is MJ getting the job in Broadway and then immediately losing it. But Peter's on his high horse being like, I'm on top of the world right now. No one can stop me. MJ, you're doing great. You're on Broadway. He never even finds out that she got fired for like half the movie, which is insane. It's like, dude, you're about to propose to this girl, but you don't even know she got fired? I think it's cool because
that was a little...
I don't know. I like how it shows their relationship. Like, he's obviously he's all about himself all the time because New York loves Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
Also, Gwen Stacy being in the movie was something that I enjoyed.
It was cool.
Yeah, it was just a cool like nod, like, hey, look at Gwen Stacy, even though she didn't have like the most important role. It was just cool having her in it.
I like that she played a role though. Like, she kind of added into Peter and MJ's like issues with their relationship.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just stirring that up. So I thought that was, I liked how they handled that. I think Peter and MJ's relationship in this film is the best out of the trilogy. And I also think Peter is kind of better here. I like Tobey's Spider-Man in this movie best out of all three. I think it's just because he seems more comfortable in the role to me. Like, he's been doing it for 3 films now. But also, like, Spidey has, like, this confidence to him because he's loved by the city now. And, like, people are wearing his merch. He's on billboards. Like, he's just having the time of his life. I don't know. I like that, how just Spider-Man is just in such a different place than he was in 2. You know?
Yeah.
And then you see the whole world get turned upside down once Venom hits. once that symbiote gets
Ven-
on him, it's just like, uh-oh. I thought that was
Venom.
cool too. What do you think about like the whole symbiote part where he becomes emo Peter?
Um, I don't know. I'm torn on it because on one hand I like it, and the other hand it feels weird.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know how. Like I can go either way on it.
emo Peter. It really shows how much of a douchebag he became at that point
Yeah.
in the film.
Mhm.
And obviously it got to him at one of his darkest points.
Mhm.
So seeing how much it really transformed him and like changed how he carries himself from being like someone who's positive all the time, walking around with some confidence, becomes this douchebag walking through the city, basically ruining MJ's life if he can, or like
I know. I was like,
showing
this guy's
her
an
up.
Yeah, he turned to an asshole. He really did.
I one thing I noticed is early in the film when he's normal Peter walking down the street, girls are admiring him while he's walking by and he's feeling good. But later in the movie, when he's emo Peter, girls are scoffing at him. They're just like, ew, this dude's fucking disgusting. Get him away from me.
Yeah, because he thinks he's hot
it's
shit at that moment.
Yeah. It's so good. I don't know. I love that. I love that about this film. Just showing, taking Peter when he's at his highest point and throwing him down and being like, nope, you're really a piece of shit. But dude, when he hits MJ at the restaurant,
I felt so bad for her.
that was such a good moment, dude.
It was a good moment, but I felt so bad for her. I was like, Peter, you're a fucking dick.
I think it's really, I'd say that's one of the better points of this film, or like parts where Peter just became so much of a prick that he wasn't even himself anymore, and it took that one moment of him hurting MJ on accident, like, to make him realize, no, I'm really not me anymore. This thing's ruining my life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I like that part so much, but it's a good scene because you see him like slowly become this prick to then go, oh no, I'm an asshole. I need to stop this because he hurt the woman he loved. I don't know, I thought that was cool.
Now let me ask you this. I have no idea if this is something only in this movie or in all the movies with Venoms or comics and all that. Is the symbiote suit always like that towards like loud noises where it's like very I don't know, it doesn't like noise. I don't even know
think it
that.
is. I think it is. I'm trying to remember if they brought it up in Venom. Yeah, no, it's sound and fire. So I remember in the Venom movie, fire is a huge thing, but they also did the noise. So yeah, sound and fire.
Yeah, okay. I thought that was cool. I just like how that was like the weakness towards it was loud noises, and they caught it with the bell in the church or above the church.
Yeah.
And then they did it with like the poles, or I don't even know what they are, like those metal.
Yeah, the steel.
Poles.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, I thought that was a cool detail. I really like how they continued with that, where it's like, hey, it doesn't like noise. Peter remembers that, and then that's how they defeat it.
I like the Sandman plot. Kind of bring it back to Uncle Ben. And like, isn't that what also kind of turns Peter evil? Like, what, he gets the symbiote, then he finds out about Uncle Ben, right? Or was it?
Yeah,
it was around that time when he gets the symbiote.
I mean, there was an obvious connection.
Yeah, but like, God, also a good moment is when Peter goes, Aunt May, he's dead. Don't you feel good? And she's like, oh no, that sucks. Peter's like, what are you talking about? This is the dude who killed Uncle Ben. Like, why aren't you feeling happy? And it calls back to the first film. Revenge is the best solution to anything.
Yeah, absolutely. I still don't know how to feel about the whole Sandman killed Uncle Ben, where I feel like in the first one it was clearly the guy that stole the money in the car.
Well, they never brought up. I mean, we never see it in the film, in the first one, that
True.
he was killed. But like Sandman accidentally shooting Uncle Ben, I like it because it's kind of like he's not really a bad guy, but he is a bad guy. It's like that Wreck-It Ralph thing. It's like, you're a bad guy, but you're not a bad guy. Like, he was doing the things, like, of course he was robbing a bank for the right reason, you know? And, like, he was having that heart-to-heart with Uncle Ben. Ben's like, just go home. Just go home to your family. Please don't do this. And then that moment's when his life just went downhill because he accidentally shot Uncle Ben. So I think it's cool because that's a very pinpoint moment in his life. Like, he killed a dude and robbed wasn't a bank, but it was a wrestling place.
Yeah,
right?
like the tournament.
Yeah. So it's like that moment sent him down his path, and he kind of wanted to get away from that. And I like that Peter apologizes or accepts his apology in the end, because it connects back to the first one. Like, you gotta move on, and like, revenge is never the option. I don't know. I think that's cool.
I'm not saying I didn't dislike that they tried to tie in Sandman to the first one and to Uncle Ben's killing. I just felt like it's like the Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. Han dies one way, and then the later films are like, actually, he died like this. And I'm like, I don't hate the explanation. It just feels like the intent changed. I'm like, okay, so originally it was this, but now it's this. Don't hate it. It works. It just, you see it two different ways.
Like, I think it could have been done so much better, but I don't know. I liked how it was played out here. Also, I love the first Goblin and Spider-Man fight in this film between Harry and Spidey. I don't know why. It's just out of nowhere. Peter's just like, cool, I got my ring. I'm gonna go propose to Mary Jane, and swoop. just gets swiped right out of his scooter. I don't know. I know I brought up the CGI. I feel like it holds up a little bit. Like, it was good for its time, because when this movie came out, like 2006, seven. Like, for its time, it's good.
The final fight CGI was pretty good.
Oh yeah.
I'd say there's definitely moments where it's like, that's PS2 graphics.
Yeah.
Where it feels like,
Definitely.
yeah, you could tell it's aged a little bit. But then there's moments where I'm like, okay, the CGI is actually pretty good. Like the final fight, I thought was pretty clean. You could tell they put a lot of budget there.
In the Peter and Harry fights especially, there's a lot of moments where they mix the CGI with actual footage of them fighting, just like the perfect extent where you can't notice. Really, they do it really well. But I think the fights were great in this. It was cool just seeing kind of Peter and Harry fight a lot, which you don't expect to happen. But of course, after Spider-Man 2, it's like, no, this was going to happen because he thinks Peter killed his dad, so shit's gonna go down. Trying to think what else was like really stood out to me that was good.
I can't think of anything else that was like amazing that stood out.
You want to move on to the negative stuff about this movie?
Yeah, let's do that.
So Venom. I think, let's just get off the top. Venom sucks.
Yeah, it's just I don't like this version of Venom at all.
I
It doesn't
think.
feel like.
Go.
Oh, I was just gonna say it doesn't feel true to like the comic book character. He's very like slim, buffed down, where it's like he almost looks like Spider-Man. Like if you like just like saw it for a split second, you'd think it's Spider-Man. Where it's like Venom's just a bigger guy in general, and I just felt like it was a little too slim, too skinny, I guess you could say, and just he didn't really invoke fear. I just feel like he could have been a little more aggressive, and there was moments where it's like they were spitting like too much comedy on the character, where he's like spitting jokes. I'm like, is that really Venom? Does Venom really spit jokes like that?
I mean, we've seen Venom like a turd in the wind, so he has some one-liners, I feel. But
yeah, but I don't know. It didn't hit like
no,
I feel
it
like
didn't.
it should have.
So my big complaint with Venom is he shouldn't have been in this movie. Like, sitting down watching it again, he should not have been in this movie at all. He's only in it for like 5 minutes. Maybe like 10 at most. But God, he was wasted. Like, I think the symbiote could have stayed in this film and then had Venom happen at the very, very end, setting up for number 4. That never happened.
That would have been cool.
Right? So, like, Peter could have ripped off the symbiote suit, and it could have just went somewhere. And that could have been the end of it. And then we continue on with the Sandman. But, like, yeah, he rips it off, falls on Eddie Brock. Eddie Brock instantly turns into Venom, finds Sandman, is like, we're gonna kidnap Mary Jane. And then, boom, final fight. There was no build-up with Venom. There was nothing. He was just there for the final fight.
Yeah, and I feel like there was like no build-up. I feel like there was no like getting adjusted to the suit. Like
No.
Eddie was just like, okay, I know how to use all the powers.
Yep.
Because I think it was like
he was just
maybe...
wall crawling or immediately swinging. I'm like, dude, how?
I'm like, I don't know if that's how it works.
Like, maybe that's because we watched the editor's cut, but I don't remember that being in the original anyway.
I mean, a minute difference. How big of a difference will that make?
I still want to know what that minute is. I think there's a way to find that out. We'll look it up after the episode. But Venom was just so freaking wasted. Sony, you fucked it up, dude.
Sony fucked that, and knowing that Rami was gonna make an amazing Spider-Man with Spider-Man 4 because he said, I want to make this one the best one, it just hurts because that ending did not feel like the ending to the trilogy.
That ending felt like the ending for the trilogy, but it was setting up for the next film. Like,
yeah.
It brought us back to where we kind of ended with number 1 with the funeral. And it went, okay, we're going to go into the next one, and that's going to finish the Spider-Man story. Because it was like, okay, we lost people here. We're getting back to a better place. He's in a good place. He lost his best friend. We're going to put him here now. And we're never going to get that.
I know.
It sucks.
Yeah, let me take that back. It worked as an ending to the trilogy, but it felt like there was going to be more after that. That's why I didn't like the ending as much as I would have liked to.
It didn't feel like a definitive ending to the series.
Exactly.
It sucks. It sucks so much. Can
we talk about the... Oh, shit, my bad.
No, go. What?
Oh, mine's totally off topic.
No, I was just going to go into something else. Go. Let's get off topic.
So in that first fight, I want to say it's 20 minutes in with Peter and Harry. Peter drops the ring while they're fighting. And there's like a good 30 seconds and the ring is still in the air falling. I'm like, no way that ring is still falling. And for some reason it is.
It's
I
still
don't know.
there. It was barely at a rooftop.
I made a big deal about that during the movie.
I still don't know how a single bump on Harry's head erased like 2 years of his memory.
I mean, he got thrown into a garbage, like.
I mean,
can,
he
didn't
got hit by a web here. He then slammed his head on a metal pipe. So I'm guessing that would make you lose some memory. But that's not even my complaint. My complaint is how quickly he remembered everything, had a kiss with MJ. Okay, sorry, retracted. He kissed MJ, she left, he then remembered everything, then immediately went and had her against the wall, being like, "You gotta break up with Peter." The fuck? It was the quickest tone shift in this film. It was like, aha, happy, 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 we're eating dinner. And then, nope. Time for you to break up with Peter.
Yeah, that did feel pretty quick, and I was just like, "Oh, okay, we're moving quick."
I remember pausing the movie and being like, the fuck was that? It was just out of nowhere. Like, it wasn't even like a basic, like, it took a bit for him to, like, remember everything. No, it was I remember everything that happened. Peter killed my dad. Time to go wreck Peter's life. That's my only real complaint with Harry's character in this movie, is just, how do we get him back from not remembering shit to remembering everything that happened in the past 2 films?
Yeah, that was pretty quick. One of my notes says that I was not mad, but I was like, no Danny Elfman. Danny Elfman carried the score. I mean, they continued some of his like melodic themes and
I
all
was
that.
gonna say, yeah.
But I feel like in general, like the new score or like the new pieces within the film weren't as strong.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they were just a little bit of lackluster, but then when like Danny Elfman's parts came in, I was like, okay, it sounds like the old Spider-Man. So I just felt like the newer pieces just weren't top notch, or not like the old ones, I guess you could say.
When you told me that before we watched this, I'm like, really? And then the movie opens, I'm like, no, this is his music. And then right after that, I'm like, no.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Pirates 5, where it's like Hans Zimmer still like had his score within it. It was just a different composer writing new pieces for the villain and just other themes throughout the movie.
I thought the dude did a good job, but it didn't carry the same feel as the first.
Exactly. I feel like it lost like that magic that Elfman's score has, because for some reason any of his movies has that like magical touch to
There's like
his
this
music.
whimsy. There's like this whimsy to it.
I think he did Nightmare Before Christmas, Spider-Man Trilogy, Oz the Great and Powerful, Avengers Age of Ultron, which isn't a bad score, just not amazing. He did the new Dumbo movie. I mean, he's done some pretty good movie scores, so I mean, I don't know. It kind of hurt missing him, but at the same time, it wasn't like the end of the world.
Yeah. It's weird though that he wasn't in it. I wonder if it was like a timing conflict, or like, do you know if he just wasn't brought back, or if he didn't want to do it?
I'm trying to think. I don't think it was like they didn't want to bring him back. I think it was more or less probably a timing conflict. I kind of want to look it up.
That'd be a good thing to know. I'm like, it feels weird that he wouldn't be back.
Okay, so he decided not to return.
Oh. He wasn't happy.
And he isn't happy, yeah.
Oh my god. Let me put it this way. There's no amount of money that anybody could offer me to do Spider-Man 3. Holy shit. What happened?
You probably read the script.
No, he said there were 6 people were credited for the music on Spider-Man 2. He said it's all about how production went. completely insane at the end. It was the worst film experience I've had in 20 years. It was pure insanity. It was all completely needless, and in the end, they went nuts trying to imitate every single note of their temp score. If I think somebody's obsessively attached to a temp score in any way, I'd stay away from it. But this was the worst I've seen times 10, and I've worked with some pretty anal directors.
Wow. Well,
yeah, obviously. Oh, Sam Raimi had nothing to do with it.
okay.
So
That's
was
one
Sony.
good thing.
That's
one
probably
good thing.
Sony.
Sam
That
Raimi
sucks.
did- Sam Raimi do the Oz the Great and Powerful?
Now think if Danny Elfman did the music for Doctor Strange too.
Okay. So him and Sam Raimi are good because Sam Raimi did direct Oz the Great and Powerful, which Danny Elfman did score. So
And I love that movie. I just have to say, I really like that movie. I don't know why, but it's a good movie. You haven't seen Oz the Great and Powerful? Go check it out.
we're totally
Disney
sidetracked.
Plus.
But back to Spider-Man 3. Sorry,
Back
I
to
had to
Spider-Man
figure
3.
that out because that was gonna bother me. But
The end
what was
fight.
another thing? The end fight. Let's go.
Well, the
with
end
that.
fight was good. I like the end fight. I don't think Venom should be there. I think he kind of takes away from it, but he does add in that kind of extra element that was needed in the end fight to kind of bring it up a bit when you thought it was all calm. Because, like, cool, they defeated Sandman. And then Venom comes out, and I like the whole team up between Eddie and Peter in the fight. Now,
Eddie and Peter,
yeah,
Harry and Peter.
Harry and Peter. I like that team up because it was
I do
like
too.
Harry was just like, "Nah, fuck you, man." It's like, "No, we need to save MJ." Just seeing Harry grab Peter's arm and they go flying around like kicking Venom and hitting Sandman, that was cool. It was cool
Yeah.
seeing that, like, just that teamwork, and they need to save their friend, and we gotta kick these two villains' ass. It was so cool. It sucks Harry dies, but I mean, he also sacrifices himself to save Peter, which was called in the beginning of like the first 30 minutes of the film.
Was it when he was like on the hospital bed or in the hospital bed and he was all like, "I would die for you guys" or something like that?
Yeah, he's just chilling in his hospital bed, and the nurse is like, "You have some good friends." He's like, "I would die for them."
Foreshadowing at its finest.
God, that death sucks. It's such. I'd say it's different from Uncle Ben's and Norman Osborn's deaths because they went through one film each. Even though Uncle Ben's death hits like a truck, this one, you see this character grow throughout all three of these films. You see the horrible path he's been on, losing his dad, basically losing his best friends, to then being reunited with them just to die, sacrificing yourself to make sure they're okay. Fucking sucks.
It was definitely pretty sad. I was like, damn, not Harry. But I mean, I feel like that's what was gonna happen. Like, no matter
Yeah.
what, like Harry was gonna have to die at some point to be redeemed in his eyes and in Peter's eyes, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But he was terribly scarred. Dude looked like Snoke for a second. I was like, oh shit.
Also, negative, since we're in the negative section, how did Harry survive the fucking bomb, but Eddie Brock and Venom didn't?
I don't know. My guess was just different bombs, but I feel like that's highly unlikely.
Because it's like, Harry's bomb went off right here, and his face just got scarred. And Eddie Brock hops into Venom right when he explodes, and of course Venom's gonna die because of fire. But Eddie was just gone.
Yeah.
Some inconsistency there. Like, maybe he didn't die, maybe he went flying somewhere, which would have set up for Spider-Man 4 and Carnage. But I don't know. Like, I feel like Sandman could have been so much better. Obviously, Venom was a piece of shit in this film. Shouldn't have been there at all. Symbiote was cool, not Venom. I can't think of much I really disliked about the film. Like, there's not much I like about the film, but there's also not much I really hate about the film. You know? What about you?
I wouldn't say there's much I dislike at the end. I just feel like it just wasn't strong.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if it was just like tighter of a like a more tight film, less elements, and just more story, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it would have been a little better. I did highlight that the opening credits felt like the most lackluster, just because, like, I don't know. I like the way the second one did it, was like the illustrations,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how it like retold or recapped the first film. This one, I get using the clips, it works. I just feel like they should have just continued the illustrations because it looked pretty cool. But overall, I guess the film just, I feel like it just wasn't as engaging as the other two.
I get that.
Like, at times I felt myself, I'm like, okay, could we just move past this already?
Mm-hmm.
Could we go to the next point? Where the other one, I'm like, okay, this matters, this matters, this matters. I'm enjoying this. This is fun. Or this one, I'm like, okay, this part is cool. This one's not as much entertaining. It's just, I don't know.
Like, I feel like the whole Peter and MJ relationship conflict that was going on could have been solved a little bit earlier in the film. Or, like, the breakup could have happened a bit earlier, because I feel like it was lingering for a bit. You know? Something about that timing-wise. But was Venom put in this film before they started writing this, or was it last-minute addition? Because it feels like a last-minute addition, right?
Oh, man, that's tough. I don't know. Feel like Sam Raimi probably had a script, and then Sonny was like, nope, we want Venom in it, so he had to
Venom.
incorporate him somehow. I don't know if he was like how early he was told. I feel like you said it was like a later process type thing where it's like, okay, we need Venom, and he's like, oh, okay.
Because then that's why Venom's in the last like 10 to 15 minutes of the film, because like, well, they wanted Venom, so here he is. Take him or leave him. And I think he works there. But I do think he's wasted, and he should have been saved for another film where it could have been more focused on that. But it just, the whole story, I think, for most of the movie flows. It's just the Eddie Brock stuff and Venom. It's just weird.
Yeah, that was the part that just didn't work. I'm trying to see when Venom was introduced, or when they wanted him in play. So Venom was asked to be added by the producers. Same with Gwen Stacy.
Oh wow, Gwen was added too? I think Gwen was a good addition because it adds into the whole drama between Peter and MJ. And also just the symbiote is cool. It kind of adds to that douchebag factor Peter was going through.
One other thing I see is there was supposed to be obviously a Spider-Man 4 and a Venom spin-off.
Ooh.
Before the one we got in 2018 or 2019, whenever that came out.
That would have been weird. I don't know how much I would have liked the Venom spin-off because I didn't like Venom.
Yeah, I'm so glad. I don't know if it would have been this. I mean, it would have to be the same Venom, right?
It would have. I'm guessing, unless Eddie's actually dead.
I don't know. That's weird. I wouldn't have liked that at all.
Well, okay, what would you give this film overall? Like on your Matt's
The MMOMRS. Let me see. That's an interesting question.
What's the rating go again?
Hold on, I can't find it.
I can't even remember what I rated the last two films.
Yeah, what did I get the last one? See, that's where it depends. Like,
because for me, I would give this film a 6.5.
So slightly above average.
Slightly
In
above
between,
average. Because I think
Okay.
it's good, but there's enough shit that makes it not as good.
Yeah.
Like, I still enjoyed this movie,
Mhm.
but it's obviously not as good as the other two, and I'm pretty sure I gave the other two like a 7 or an 8.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna give this a 6.5 because it could have been done so much better. But I do like a lot of the elements in it still. But I don't want
I
to give it
think.
rating above Spider-Man 1.
Wait, you think it's better than Spider-Man 1?
No, I don't want to rate it
Oh,
higher than
okay.
Spider-Man 1
I was like, whoa, whoa,
because I don't
whoa.
know what I rated Spider-Man 1.
See,
It's
I
been a
gave
while.
Spider-Man 1 like an 8.3 or something like that. I gave Spider-Man 2 like maybe like closer to 9.
Mhm.
I'd give this one around a 6. Somewhere around a 6 is
Mhm.
fair. I mean, it's slightly above average. It isn't as bad as the Andrew Garfield ones. I think it surpasses both of those. What?
Okay.
What? No, no, no. You gave a face. Now I need to know what.
I enjoy the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man films. I really do. I think they're really good Spider-Man movies.
Okay, but more than number 3.
More than number 3. I think the Spider-Man trilogy as a whole is better than than the duology of the Amazing Spider-Man, but I like Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 better than 3. I do. I just
Not
think
number 2. Number 2.
I like Amazing
Amazing-
Spider-Man number 2. I
Better
think
than Spider-Man 3.
yes. And it's because Spider-Man 3 works with the trilogy, but as a film by itself, it doesn't work as strongly. So I would put it at like a
Okay.
6.5.
Does Spider-Man 2 work as good as a film without the first one?
Yes.
So you can take away the first one, watch the second one, and know everything that's going on.
I believe so. I feel like if you have some basic understanding of get away from the screen. If you have some basic understanding of Spider-Man, you can appreciate and enjoy Spider-Man 2.
Okay, guys, if we get this video to 10 likes, we'll do a tier list of all the Spider-Man movies that exist.
Yes. I just realized,
Okay,
are
we'll
we
just do it anyways. But I don't know about that one.
I like Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 more than Spider-Man 3.
That's gonna be a topic on the podcast.
But Spider-Man 1 and 2 are better than Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2.
I mean, I hope
That's
you agree
hands
with that.
down. Spider-Man 2 is obviously the superior Spider-Man film. Yes, very much. Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 are better than Spider-Man 3.
I don't know that. All right. Fun video.
So good. Have you guys watched Spider-Man 3 recently? If you have, let us know what you think in the comments down below. And don't shit on me for thinking Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 are better than Spider-Man 3, because they fucking are, in my opinion. Let us know what you would have rated it and what movies we should watch next. Go check out Matt's channel. It'll be on the end card. Is there anything else you would like to plug, Matt?
No, not at all.
Cool. Don't hate on us on Twitter. And we will see you guys in the next one. See ya.